Yeah, obviously gut-wrenching loss, losing the last minute the way we did. Put ourselves in position to win a game on the road. Played a really good second half. Was down obviously at half, and we had spotted them some points. Came back, took the lead, had a position to extend the lead. We didn't extend it enough. We had opportunities to extend enough, and put ourselves in position to win. So I was pleased that we're on the road. And we got a chance. We got a 3-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and our defense has played lights out for 2+ games. We did not execute on the last drive defensively. We had 4 critical errors on that drive. One of them, you give a little credit, a little physical, good play by Ken on Buffalo, but even that one, we didn't close space like we need to. So we didn't play our best defense in that last drive, and they made the plays, and they got us in the end. Offensively, ran the ball good. Ran the ball really good at times, ran the ball good the whole game. Had some big explosive runs. Obviously, AV's big explosive run for a touchdown. We had another touchdown called back, another explosive run. The taking care of the ball has been really good. We had the one pick, which in this game was really costly because they returned it to our 1-yard line. Took them 4 plays to get in from the 1. They barely got in, but they got in from the 1. Which obviously those 7 points are huge. But we won the turnover battle again. The one turnover we had was costly. We did not. We've been taking advantage of our defensive turnovers. We did not take advantage of our defense turnovers. We did not turn them into touchdowns like we've been. We've been getting good points off turnovers. So when we had opportunity, we didn't. Critical errors on offense in the red zone. A couple of trips in the red zone, we score touchdowns, not field goals. You're a 2-score game at the end, and it doesn't come down to one drive. But we did not execute down there the way we have to if you want to try to win games on the road. And we didn't execute on the last drive defensively the way we have to if you want to win games on the road. So felt like we played a good game. Felt like our kids played really hard. We win the turnover battle. We win the rushing battle. Defense plays lights out. We do a nice job in ST. We do all the things that you're supposed to do to win the game, but our critical errors on both sides of the ball in inopportune times, whether it be the red zone offense or the last driver defense, or a holding penalty, which negates a touchdown earlier in the game. Those are the plays that made it closer than it should have been, in Buffalo executed in key moments and took advantage and won the football game.
Next question. I imagine you've had teams that were offensive juggernauts or close to it or whatever, and when something happens in those games, it's easy to come over and say, well, we got that covered, the offense will go out there, we'll get that back and whatever. With this team, it's going to be a lot closer, so when there are penalties or when there are things that happen, how much of a sense, what's the feeling like when they, have to go back out there with the offense and try and make up for things like that?
Yeah, we're in a pretty good place. We know who kind of we are right now, obviously with the personnel we have, and we know how we have to play the game to win. We played the game very similar to Northwestern in the weeks before. The difference is when we got the ball to the 1-yard line, we scored a touchdown there. You're probably putting yourself in position where you're ending the game, and then we go backwards and have to settle for a field goal at different times. So we're doing the things with this group we need to do to put ourselves in position to win. We have to execute in key situations. We don't have as big a margin for error because we're not going to be as explosive offensively, but we still move the ball during the game. We got to finish drives. If we'd have finished drives, we probably put up 30 points in the game, and you have a nice victory on the road. But we didn't finish drives, so we don't put up 30 points. All right, and again, it's not going to be as high scoring affairs, but we still move the ball plenty good enough to generate points. We just, when we had opportunities to generate more points, we made mistakes. And credit to Buffalo's defense, they made the plays they need to make to push us in a position where we couldn't score touchdowns.
Coach, a really prolific day on the ground from Avion Smith. Was that part of the game plan, and just how overall did you evaluate his performance?
Yeah, like the way he's compete again. I would like to have his interception. We had a good play action pass. He right had a guy open, and he just overthrew it enough that the ball was tipped, and then they returned it to the 1 yard line. That's a huge, obviously, play in a game when you're talking about a 4-point margin, and you gave him 7 points. With your defense basically not on the field. So other than the pick, I thought he competed still. He ran good. We had some design runs. Some of it was quarterback scrambles because he's a good athlete. So some of it was on his own, but some of it was designed quarterback runs that we had in the game plan that we took advantage of some looks that we thought we could take advantage of. So, but again, he competed his tail off. He'll keep improving as we keep moving forward. And again, if you ask him, he didn't play as good as he needs to play. That's everybody in the locker room feels that way. But we're up by 3 points with 4 minutes to go in the game. He put us in position to win another game, which is all you can ask.
What's the status of McWood, and how'd you come out of it injury-wise?
Yeah, injury came out of good. There's only really one injury that we're MRIing. Other than that, it's funny. The Sunday ball came up. It's like, well, we got one MRI. Other than that, everybody's just your normal soreness after a football game. So we came out of it very good. McWood, we think he's got a doc's appointment tomorrow, but we think he should be good to go for this week. We're optimistic that he'll be good to go. Obviously, the doctor's going to tell us that tomorrow, but we're very hopeful, and that was kind of the plan, that it's going to probably take a week after surgery to let it heal up enough. So the doc's going to look at it tomorrow and let us know, but we're optimistic we'll get McWood back. Nardone played a heck of a game in his absence. He really competed hard, really played a really solid football game for us. So it's great to see him have that opportunity, not because McWood was hurt, but great to see him have the opportunity, just like North Texas game, and really step up and continue to show some of our depth.
With the transfer portal this year, you're going into MAC play, are you expecting to see kind of some teams that are going to be very, very different from what you saw the year before, and consequently you need to plan a lot differently for them?
Yeah, I think some teams have I think everybody looks different because we've all lost some kids, we've all gained some kids. So when you do that, but some will look more different. To your point, that some there'll be a lot more new faces than Buffalo had a bunch of them. So there's a bunch of new faces on defense, So, but yeah, no, but the schemes probably won't change unless they've changed coordinators. Most likely, I don't know that they'll change because they got new players. The teams that. But there are some teams that have new coordinators in the league that their offense and defenses will look a little bit different. Kent State's defense looks completely different. They got some new faces over there, but they also got some old faces that are running a different scheme. So they're doing some different things. They're playing much better on defense.
Coach, moving on to Bowling Green, just what have you seen on tape from them
Kent
so
State.
far? Kent State, my bad. Kent State.
Haven't got that far yet, yes. Well, obviously, Kent State, you always think of offense. They've been one of the top offenses, or if not the top offense in our league for the last 4 or 5 years, statistically, points-wise, yards-wise. They had 733 yards last week against Ohio University, which that's a mind-boggling number. And yes, it went to overtime, but they only got 25 yards in overtime, so they had 708 yards in regulation. Which again, it's they've had some games in the 500s, and then I don't know, you just don't see many games. So they ran for 398, they threw for 335, so they can do both. They have a new quarterback. Will be, if not the most athletic guy in the league, one of the most athletic players. Incredible arm strength. Incredible twitchy athlete, runs really, really fast, big, strong, and fast, and he's got a howitzer of an arm. Obviously, this is his first year starting for them. Huge issues with the quarterback, whether it's designed quarterback runs on all they do, all the read plays or counter read, their zone reads, their mid-zone reads. They do have every run play they're reading. But then also the scramble situations. His scramble highlight tape is pretty amazing. He's only started for 5 games. He's got a lot of big plays running the football, much like their last guy. They've got all fast receivers. The Cephas kid's as good as any receiver in this league. The guy on the other side is right. The more you watch, the more he looks just like Cephas. So they got these 2 big, strong, fast wideouts that run by you. Run by you, catch a lot of deep balls. the two backs, they got the Cooper kid who's small, but he's really strong, and then they got the other kid that's been there. That's big. He's 260 pounds. He's big. He's strong, and he's fast. So they've obviously dynamic running the football when you rush for 398 yards in a game, and dynamic throwing it if you throw for 335 in the same afternoon. So defensively, where they've changed, because they've always been really good on offense, they're much better on defense. They held Oklahoma scoreless for an entire half, which is really hard to do, and they held Georgia down, which is really hard to do. And they played great defense again last weekend. So OU's been putting up tons and tons and tons of points. They held OU to 24 points, which is difficult to do because OU's been scoring 40, 50 points a game offensively. So they've got a different scheme. They're running kind of the Iowa State 3-3-5 stuff. So totally different scheme than we've seen, and they're playing really good defense. They're really playing hard and fast, and they're disciplined. They know where to go and know what to do, and that's the biggest difference. So it'll be the most complete Kent State team we faced by far, because defensively they're really playing well.
Coach, can you just talk about the importance of this game, though? You have aspirations, obviously, to play in the MAC championship game, but if you were to compare games against two East rivals, it'd be a tough sledding from there on out.
Yeah, no, obviously all these games on our side are critically important, then obviously because we didn't get the one last weekend. Makes this one, not that this one wasn't critically important anyways. This is a big game, obviously. So, obviously it's a game from long-term aspirations that you got to win. We always talk about when it's week 2 in the conference. I know there's a big picture there, but we gotta keep working on playing better football. We're playing better and better football every week. There's things to clean up. There's a bunch of penalties that we got to clean up from last week. And there's other mental mistakes that we got to clean up from last week, and there are things we have to learn. So we're not the most experienced team right now, defensively or offensively. So we just got to keep growing and learning and put ourselves in position to win game, which we've done a pretty good job at doing that. If we do that, then that'll give our best chance to get us to 1-1 in the league.
How do you feel about the secondary? When it started out the year, some new faces and all that, it looks like they're coming along. It looks like maybe we're about halfway through and almost, and it looks like you've got some guys that can make some really good plays and some guys that have some lapses every now and then. Is that how you see it?
Still inexperienced back there. The last 2 weeks we've played really good back there. We haven't been perfect back there, but we played really good back there. All 5 of the DBs, and we played more than 5 guys back there. We've played 6 and 7 DBs. So again, not very experienced group, as we know. They're growing, getting better each week. We have the ability to make plays back there, and we're making more plays than we've made back there in a long time on the back end, as far as impacting the game plays, turnover type plays, whether we're stripping the ball, whether we're getting interceptions, and then just way more pass breakups than we've had the last few years for sure, of attacking the ball in the air. Yes, we still make some mistakes. We did, unfortunately, we made a couple mistakes on the last drive Saturday. Otherwise, it would have been back-to-back games where we were really good back there. And we were really good for, 55 minutes on Saturday. We could have played better on that last drive.